All right, Trevon. So we have the San Antonio Spurs, led by Coach Popovich, one of the best coaches to ever coach the game. And so, give me your in-season grade for them, and then the off-season, and where you see them moving forward into next season.
So in season grade, I give them a B. Reason being, they did make the play in. Um, they played against the Pelican squad, who was better than them, in my opinion, even without Zion. Um, they played pretty hard. It was an entertaining game. I did watch a little bit of that game towards the end. Dejounte Murray had an All Star season. Um, they have young players that play hard. It's not really too much to go over there. I give them a B. Off season is probably the thing that stands out the most. I give them a B, and I put a little question mark behind it too because it is kind of weird for somebody to give up a young all star coming fresh off of an all star. But on the flip hand, I can see why they made such a move. Um, so for a little bit of back story information, they traded Dejounte to the Hawks, and
Mhm.
they acquired the Hornets pick for the upcoming draft. Now, why is that important? The I said the Hawks or the Hornets.
You said the Hornets
Yeah.
draft pick. They acquired the Hornets draft pick. Yeah.
So they acquired the Hornets draft pick for this upcoming season. The Hawks picks in 2025 and 2027. This Hornets draft pick for the upcoming one is top 16 protected. Now, getting the Hornets pick, the Hornets just lost Miles Bridges and they lost Montrezl Harrell. Um, and I don't really think they replaced him with anybody. They did draft Zaire Williams. I think that's how you say it. But
No,
out of Duke,
Zaire. Oh, you're talking about
big man
Williams,
out
the
of Duke,
big man from the big man from Duke, not
which is
Zaire. Yeah.
which is the one piece I think the Hornets needed was just a shot blocking big to get them in transition. But we're not talking about the Hornets. So losing Miles Bridges, who was a big piece of their offense, and Montrezl Harrell, who was a veteran on that team, the Hornets could fall even lower than they were last year, the positioning the Spurs to possibly get a top three pick. We've heard a lot of noise about Scoot Henderson and Victor. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, but Wembanyama out of
I know what
France.
you're talking about.
So they're kind of in that lottery chance to get a top pick for those guys. And I feel like the Spurs is an organization that would definitely love to have him, even though I feel like Victor would fit somewhere else or Scoot would fit better somewhere else. So I feel like that could possibly play out in their favor in getting better draft positioning. Because even if they kept DeJounte and they, let's say they ended up in the play in again or got in the playoffs, they weren't really going far or anything like that. So I feel like this decision to trade Murray, while he probably was going to get the most value that he ever would, um, get a lot of draft compensation, think about the future, position yourself better in the draft. I feel like it ultimately could play out as a smart move for San Antonio. So that's why I wanted to give them a B when it comes to this trade because it does have some potential. Maybe even in future years if it doesn't work out with the Hawks or something like that for the future draft. So I felt like this was a smart move for them to do, and they did it. We just got to see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give them a C plus for the in season grade. I think you made some really good points. They made the play in, so that's definitely a really good thing. And I don't think many people were or had high expectations for the Spurs that this past season, but Dejounte did have an All Star uh, season, and they developed their players, made the play in, played really well in the play in. So I think it's a C plus uh, for that. And Coach Pop, I mean, I think he is a great coach, and he does well with whatever team you give him. He's gonna find a way to find value in the season and push his team forward. So I give him a C plus. For the off season, I also go with a C plus there. I definitely get what you're saying. I think you bring up great points, and that's where I was coming from as well. I think that they set themselves up to uh, capitalize in the draft this upcoming season. And that's how they have operated in the past. If you remember, that one season they drafted Tim Duncan, David Robertson got hurt, and they ended up not doing well that season. And they got a top pick and ended up picking Tim Duncan. So they kind of like to operate in that um, kind of scenario. And I think that they saw an opportunity to trade DeJounte while he has a very high value and get compensated for that. And like you said, the pieces around DeJounte, even though he had a really good year, an all-star year, the pieces that they had and the potential pieces moving forward, it didn't look like it would move them forward into any playoff contention or championship contention in the future. So uh, I think that they did a good job of trying to, project forward and make the best decisions based off of that. But the only reason I gave them a C plus is because talking about next season, I think the trade of DeJounte does bring them down a lot, though. So that does kind of take back from probably a B or B minus grade or B plus grade or whatever you want to say that I would have given them for making that smart move. Uh, and I mean, DeJounte was their best player. So I just bring it down a little bit because I do think that that does make the team worse for next season. So overall, I give them off-season grade as a C plus.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's kind of like a move that could potentially pay off, but I don't know. It's kind of like Danny Ainge knew that Jazz team wasn't going to win nothing based off of history, so he scrapped it. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like when it's a situation like that, and you're not going to win, especially for them, they're in the West, man. The West is so loaded.
Loaded.
I looked over it the other day. You got teams coming back with their best players like the Nuggets, Dame's coming back. Lakers might play better. The Clippers are back.
Clippers.
So when you just look at what the West is compared to last year, and you look at your roster, and and you guys have that championship like expectate or that championship pedigree over the years, and when you have a championship contender team, like you look at that, I feel like this move was probably the best thing because I don't think DeJounte would ever have this much value ever again, honestly, because this type of value comes when you're young and you are an all-star. And over the years, teams don't line up as much as, when the hype is all there over a player. So I feel like this was a smart move, really.
I
We'll see
agree.
how much it pays off because the pick is they'll probably get a lottery pick out of this. So we'll see how it pays off for them.